Well, actually, we will be talking about more than just waste. We currently live in a world where people buy a new smartphone every year, have the latest fashion hanging in their closet, where our vegetables are wrapped in plastic, and a slightly more recent phenomena where disposable mouth masks are lying around in the streets. So you might question the way we deal with materials and products, question our consumption behavior and the waste that we generate. Today, we want to provide you with some insights on the challenges that we are facing in this regard, but also how we can do things differently. And we will be doing this in a fun way, of course.
This quiz is going to be about circular economy, a world without waste. And for the first question, we're going to think about our use of resources. You have to realize that all the products we buy need to be produced. And in order to extract all the materials we need for producing all that stuff, we open mines across the globe. And this obviously has a very high impact on the environment. And we do not only use materials, but we also use a lot of water. And the next question is about our water use. How many liters of water are needed to produce one pair of jeans? And if all goes well, you'll see these colors appear on your smartphone or on your screen, and you just have to tick the right answer. It's 5 seconds left.
All right. The correct answer was D, 8,000 liters. Jeans is actually made of cotton, and unfortunately, the cotton plant needs a huge amount of water to grow. And this water is actually brought to the field by extensive irrigation systems. And of course, the production of jeans fabric also requires water, for example, during coloring and bleaching and washing. And these environmental effects often remain very invisible to us since production processes mainly take place in Asia, like China or Bangladesh.
Okay, so actually it's 10 of you who had this question right. And if we look at the ranking, we see that Vale is currently on top with Elisa coming second. Great, but this is just the first question, of course. So we move directly to the next question. And the next question is about our current linear economy. So we already talked about the resources that we need to produce all our stuff, but we do not only need resources, we also generate a lot of waste in our current model. And the next question is about that. How many kilograms of household waste is generated by the average European citizen? Is that 130, which is the weight of a pig, 370, the weight of a pony, 490, a grizzly bear, or 720, the weight of a bull? How much waste do we produce, each of us, every year? 5 more seconds to go.
All right, the answer was indeed 490 kilograms, or the weight of a grizzly bear, more or less. And actually, almost half of this waste is separately collected for recycling or composting, for example, glass, paper, metals, organic kitchen waste. And unfortunately, the remaining half is incinerated or landfilled. So let's have another look at the ranking.
Okay, let's see how this has changed. Oh, now we have Sarah on top and Rivals coming in second. Great, let's move to the next question where we're going to look at waste as a resource. So our waste is not just some valueless products laying around. Many of our waste products actually contain valuable materials that can be recycled and reused. And by recycling this waste, we avoid also that we need to mine new materials, which reduces the pressure on our finite resources, and it also saves a lot of energy. Because maybe you already know this, but recycling waste It generally consumes less energy than mining new materials. And our next question is about this. How much copper does 1 ton of old smartphones contain? Is that 10 kilograms, 50 kilograms, 100 kilograms, or 150 kilograms? So 1 ton of old smartphones. 3 more seconds.
100 kilograms indeed. And mind you, it also contains 600 grams of silver and 300 grams of gold. So old smartphones actually contain a lot of valuable materials. By recycling 200 old smartphones, you can already make a golden ring. So it's actually very useful to collect your old electronics for recycling. So one suggestion, this evening you can check your drawers for old devices that you could offer for recycling. And of course, as Saskia already mentioned, we do not only save materials by recycling, but also a lot of energy.
I'm just going to have a quick look at the ranking. So now we have Alesia coming first and Sarah, who's keeping the high ranking here, coming in second with Revals on third place. Okay, let's move to our fourth question. How long can a TV play with the energy that is saved by recycling one aluminium can? Is that 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours? So just one aluminium can. How much energy can you save by recycling that in comparison with producing it from new aluminium?
3 hours it is, because 1 kilogram of recycled aluminium actually saves 14 kilowatt hours of energy compared to producing a new kilogram. And if you didn't know yet, aluminium is actually among the materials that are the most easy to recycle.
Great, let's look at the ranking again. Oh, Alicia is keeping her place on top and Sarah is still second. So they're really strengthening their position. But I see that Vale and Rivals are very close. So it's also the time that you need to answer that plays a role here. Okay, let's go to our next question. If we want to avoid the depletion of our finite resources, such as oil or minerals or metals, we can also consider using renewable materials. For example, plastics are normally made of oil, but they can also be made of plant materials. And then we call them bioplastics. And the next question is about bioplastics. What do you know actually about bioplastics? Which of the following statements is not true? Bioplastics reduce CO2 emissions because they are not made of fossil fuels. Some bioplastics are completely identical to their fossil counterparts. All bioplastics are biodegradable, or bioplastics can be made out of sugar or wood or organic waste. Which one is not true?
All right, this might have been a tricky one, but actually, what is not true is that bioplastics reduce littering because they are all biodegradable. Obviously, bioplastics are very valuable materials. Like Saskia mentioned, some of them are completely identical to conventional plastics that are made from oil, but they are actually then made of biomaterials such as sugarcane, wood, or even organic waste. And in this way, they help to reduce the use of fossil fuels and they contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions and also climate change. However, beware that not all bioplastics biodegrade. To turn into compost, most of them need a specialized industrial process. So, bottom line, never throw a product out of bioplastic in nature or in the kitchen waste.
Okay. Okay, let's have a look at the ranking. Alicia is really keeping up very strong. She is still very much on top. Then we have Sarah, and Enrica is actually a new name coming up in the top 3. Okay, next question. And this is about product design, because not only the choice of materials matters to make a product better for the environment, but also the way a product is designed and assembled is very important. For example, when a product consists of different parts that can easily be taken apart, it can also easily be repaired. And in that way, you do not need to replace the full product when one of the parts is broken, but you can just repair the missing part, and that also saves resources. So the next question is about design. Which design method does not contribute to repairability? Using glue to join parts together, using components with standard sizes and connections, using as little different tools as possible for assembling, or using screws and other reversible connectors. Which of these design strategies is not really a good thing if you want to repair the product?
All right. Maybe this was not the hardest question. I see that a lot of you got it right. Indeed, using glue to join parts together does not contribute to repairability. Because when using glue, it's difficult or even impossible to disassemble the different parts later on when we want to repair or when we want to sort the different materials for recycling. Instead, it is actually much better to use screws or other reversible methods of joining parts together so they can also be disassembled in an easy way.
Okay, let's have a look. Will Alicia still be there? Yes, she is. And then Pietro is really a very strong rising star, let's say. He has the highest answer streak of 3 and coming in on the 2nd place here. And Sarah is still 3rd. Good. Let's have a look at the next question, which is about sustainable use of products. Because, of course, you can think of recycling, but you can also try to buy more sustainable products to lower your impact on the environment. But only that is not enough. We also need to use our products longer so that we do not throw them away very fast after we have bought them. But unfortunately, this often happens. You can imagine that you have often thrown away products, even if they were still repairable. And this brings us to question 7. How long do we, on average, use our smartphone before buying a new one? Is this 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, or 3.5 years? How much time, how long does a smartphone last?
Okay, 1.5 years indeed. Sometimes we do replace our smartphone because it's broken, but sometimes also just because we would like to have the latest new model. And that's actually a pity because by repairing our phones or choosing secondhand, we can not only save a lot of money, but also prevent waste and greatly reduce our impact on the environment. Remember that every time you do not buy, remember that for every item that you do not buy, it also does not need to be produced.
Okay, so we are actually near the end of our quiz, so now it becomes really exciting. Alicia is still on top. Pietro is still 2nd, but running in, I guess. And then Vale is at the 3rd place. Okay, and yeah, it's going to be a very tough. We'll come to our last question. How much of its lifetime does a car spend unused in the garage? Is that 63%, 76%, 88%, or 96%? How much of the time do you not use your car or your parents' car?
The correct answer was actually 96%. And many products that we own, we do not use very often. So an average car spends 96% of its lifetime parked in a parking lot or in some garage. What if we would share our cars? So multiple households could make use of that same car. In this way, this one car will be used much more efficiently, and less cars need to be produced to fulfill our needs for transport. In many cities, car sharing services are actually available, and these often work on a pay per use basis. This means that you only pay for the amount of time or the kilometers that you use the car. And this could be much cheaper than actually owning a car. And it saves on the number of cars that are parked in the streets. And this pay per use system does not only exist for cars, but also for many other products, such as washing machines, tools, or even movies on demand.
Okay, and this has brought us to the end of our quiz, and it will be quite exciting because there's only 6 people who had this last question right. So will it be Alessia or Sarah or maybe somebody else? First of all, we'd like to thank you for participating in this quiz, and we'd like to stress that everything that we have discussed in the questions is actually part of a shift to a circular economy, which is an economy in which we want to use our products longer and save resources and energy so we can make our society more sustainable. We hope that you have learned a few new things by participating to this quiz. And maybe before we go to the end ranking, I'd like to give you a last question. Maybe type 3 up to 3 words in this word cloud, things that you take home from our quiz. Maybe just a keyword, something that you may remember. Just type it in. You have still about 40 seconds, and then we will make a very nice word cloud of this. And Anse, maybe you can take a screen picture after the word cloud
Yeah,
has
indeed.
appeared.
Before we end, I'm also going to ask you to turn on all your cameras so we can take a group picture, but I'll first make a screenshot of the resulting word cloud.
So we still have 15 seconds left. Okay, here it is. Ooh, I see knowledge really popping out. A few things about cars. We don't use our car. Cars in the garage. New information. 8,000 liter for jeans. Cars are wasteful. Okay, so let's not keep you much longer. Have you taken the picture, Anse?
Absolutely.
Okay, then we go to the end ranking. The podium. On the 3rd place, we have Vale. On the 2nd place, we have Pietro. And on the 1st place, Alessia. She has kept it all there. Okay, very much congratulations, Alessia. This makes you the official winner of the quiz, and we can maybe give your details or your school address to Armida so that she can send you a prize. I'm not sure what she has in mind, but you can expect something.